Today, I want to talk about one of the most common questions I get when people call in or email me for improving their skills. It is on communication skills. Now, what do I mean by that? It could be presenting to one or two people who are meeting you for a meeting, or perhaps even a group, right? That ties into what many people call public speaking. So, whether you call it effective communications, public speaking, or presentation skills, to me, it's primarily all the same because there's a recipe, there's a repeatable process that the best speakers use and have been using for years. What do I mean by that? Number one, you've got to outline what your key points are. What are you going to talk about, right? What is most important to the audience you're presenting to? I like to look at it from the audience point. What's in it for them? So, of course, they're sitting in the audience, they're listening to you, could be one of many speakers for the day, and they're thinking about the number one radio station in the world, WIIFM. That stands for, not really a radio station, it stands for what's in it for me. Why should I pay attention? What am I going to get out of this? So what, as my friend Mark Magnacca likes to talk about. So what? With that, I always encourage my clients to create a format, and that is, what are the 3, 4, 5 key points you want to make in your presentation and why that matters to the audience. That's really important, right? So the 3, 4, 5 key points you want to make and why that matters. And you should be able to answer why that matters. Now, people ask, well, Neil, how do I know what the audience wants? That's up to you in doing the research. You should do what friends of mine call CSI research. Think of the movie on TV, CSI, right? What does the audience need? What are the problems they're dealing with? Whenever I'm speaking to a corporation about improving productivity or attitude or goals, things like that, I do a ton of research on the company. I have a 1 hour chat with some key people in the company to find out what their needs are, what's working, which is awesome, and what isn't, which is lacking. I want to find out all of that. Yes, it takes work, it takes effort, it takes time, it takes listening skills, and when I give a presentation, it is high impact because it's based on their needs. So number one, as I said, what are the key points you want to talk about? I always encourage people to close with a strong story. So for example, I was on United flight from Denver to Boston. About 2 hours into the 3 hour flight, the plane dropped about 500 feet with no warning, screaming, plates flying, I mean, just soda flying everywhere. People were freaked out. And moments later, the pilot came over the intercom and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we've hit some bumpy air. So we've gone to a higher altitude. The rest of the ride should be smooth. So please stay buckled in just in case. And thank you for flying United. We will get you to your gate on time in Boston." As I sat there, I thought, wow, this pilot provided what we call LCD: leadership, confidence, and direction. Now, that story only took a moment, but won't you remember that we dropped 500 feet and people were screaming? And what the pilot said: leadership, confidence, and direction was in his voice. So, with that, always close with a story. Now, I know many speakers who like to open with a story. I'm in favor of that also. The story has to be relevant and tie in to your message. So if you do that, you can tie in the beginning story with the closing story and wrap everything up. Now, if you're only doing a 5-minute presentation, your story should be brief, right? Grab their attention right away. Same thing at the end. If you're going to share a story, wrap up what you talked about. All right, so those are the key components, right? Number one, as I mentioned, What do you want to talk about? What are the key points? Secondly, if you're going to use a story, make sure it's brief and applicable to what you are talking about today. There's a third point to this, and I get some pushback on this. You've got to rehearse. You've got to rehearse and you have to record, just as I'm doing right here on my iPhone, with a stand in one of my offices. It's really important. Now I get pushback where people say, Neil, I don't really have time to rehearse. I'm just going to get up there and wing it. Really? If this isn't an important presentation, fine, wing it, good luck, I wish you all the best. But what presentation are you giving that isn't important? If you're talking to the president of a company, or the national director of sales, or a prospect who could become a huge multi-million-dollar client, is that presentation, even if it's 5 minutes or 1 hour, is that presentation important? You tell me. Now, when it comes to rehearsal, I'm going to give you 2 examples. The Olympics are coming up in February 2026 in beautiful Italy, where I was stationed with the Air Force many, many years ago. Now, these are the best athletes in the world. Here we are in January 2026. Do you know where they are right now? They're practicing on the slopes in Cortina right now. Why? They're the best in the world. Yes, and they're competing against the other best in the world. So they want to fine-tune their mind, how to work on the slopes, where to take this turn and that turn, how to be more effective, and to get down the slopes faster than anybody. Because as you know, when it comes to medals, there's first, second, and third. Gold, silver, and bronze. After that, even if you are 1/100th of a second behind third place, you get nothing but a memory. So when it comes to practice, I want you to think about the best athletes in the world. It could be in the NFL or NHL, hockey, football, even football over in Europe, right? Soccer is what we call it. They rehearse at least 5 days a week to prepare for game time. Now, you want to be a professional speaker, or you want to be excellent and more effective at what you do, I want you to think about them rehearsing every day. The other group I want you to think about are actors. Think about the best movies you've ever watched, right? Your favorite movies on TV. Do you know everything they say and everything they do in that movie was scripted? It was in the manuscript. And they rehearsed it so many times with their co-stars, with their colleagues, or even on their own on stage. They rehearsed it so many times that it just flows when it comes to filming. They never get up and just wing it and hope. There's no time for that. This is too expensive. This is too important to get up and wing it. So with that, when you think about rehearsing, I want you to ask yourself, how often do the professional athletes rehearse and the professional actors rehearse? And I want to be in that group. When I'm giving a presentation, and keep in mind, I've given 5,000 presentations, many to small groups, many to large groups, up to 500 to 2,000 people. I rehearse every single time beforehand. And I don't rehearse once. I rehearse about 10 times. There's one presentation I've given over 1,000 times. And I'm presenting again next week. When I get to the hotel the day before, I'll get up on stage and I'll run through the presentation again. And that's how you become an excellent, effective, high-impact communicator, public speaker, or presenter. That makes the difference. Keep in mind, being good is not enough when your goal is to be great. I hope that helps. If you need more information, I can give you a brief outline on a PDF that I'll send for free on how to create an excellent presentation. Some of that is based on Mark McNacker's book, So What?, which is really one of the best books out there if you want to be a great presenter. Hope that helps. All the best to you. Practice, be the best you can be, and wow the audience you're talking to. Thanks so much.